So you spent hours scrolling through Pinterest, drawing mind maps and sketching out ideas, but you've got nothing. We've all been in that creative rut at some point. Fortunately, I have 3 tried and tested tools that you can use to spark creative ideas. Number 1, the Magpie Box. Do you ever get struck with inspiration when you are just going about your day? You might see a design in a shop or an ad on the street, or be reading a book that just gives you a great idea. The reason we're struck with inspiration in this way is because we aren't exactly looking for it. There is an element of random chance involved. A Magpie Box is a collection of visual trinkets that you collect over a long period of time. It becomes a treasure trove of random but high quality inspirational material you can dip into whenever you're feeling stuck. You may think this would be a disorganised mess or you'd be constantly filing things, but this is where my favourite new tool comes in, and today's video sponsor, MyMind. I use MyMind to store anything that strikes me as interesting, creative or beautiful. Whether at your laptop or on your phone, you can save anything. Just select what you want to save and add it to MyMind. This could be design, photography, video, articles, Instagram posts, book extracts, websites, and even photos I take on the go. MyMind uses some very clever AI for easy searching, meaning you don't have to spend countless hours organising files or trying to find that cool image you saved 2 years ago on one of your 300 Pinterest boards. For example, if I search logo, it knows what to look for. Here's how I would use it to help me come up with an Instagram carousel for this carpentry brand, the Lumberjack Project. The owner of the company is all about craft, whether it be the forest from which the tree was cut, the quality of the cutting and drying process, or his beautiful woodworking skills. Craft must come first. So if we put in some keywords, it's going to use the built-in AI to bring up anything I have saved that's associated with that word, or anything I have tagged with that word in the past. I can even use this amazing feature here called Same Vibe, and that's going to bring up anything of a similar visual world to the image I have on screen. So I've gathered some reference from MyMind. I love some of the bold layering texture that's coming through here and the detailing that's coming through some of these whiskey labels. It really represents that craft human feel that I want to convey, but also the attention to detail. Now we're going to use this to help us design the carousel. Firstly, I'll roughly lay out the information and imagery on the slides where I want it. So we're introducing the product on the first slide, showing where the wood is from on the second, and summarising on the third. I'll add a craft texture background, then create some layering between text and image. Then I'm going to add my product information in this craft whiskey label style, and finish up with some more craft detailing to make it feel like it's come straight from the workshop. Now, since I've split some textures and objects over different images, it makes an engaging and fluid carousel. Another great feature of MyMind is how it deals with colour. If you like the colour palette of an image, you're able to copy the hex codes in this bottom left corner here. And by copying those hex codes into a new note, you can save that as a colour palette. You can copy the hex codes into whichever program you use. So if I wanted to add a colour palette to this board, I can do that. And there's spaces where you can manually set up boards by simply adding reference to a space. Everything gets stored in one place that's private, intuitive, and ad-free. Use the link in the description to have a go. There is a free version, so you can try it out, and I'm sure you'll be hooked on it like I am. Of course, it is possible to have a Magpie Box without this, but MyMind makes it a whole lot easier. Tool 2, the thinking hats. The original 6 thinking hats were conceived by Dr. Edward de Bono. You were essentially supposed to wear these different hats when facing a problem to force you to look at that problem from totally different angles. But I like to use the technique in a slightly different way. For example, if I were designing a premium water brand for the well-being consumer, I might put my luxury spa brand hat on, and again, with a little help from my Magpie Box for inspiration, I could do something like this. If the target was the creative type, I might put my art creator's hat on, which would send me in this sort of direction. You can also do this with different consumers, which many brands do. For example, a water brand that thinks like a punk rocker, or a wine brand that thinks like a hipster. It's a great tool for forcing you to look at things with a different perspective, which can spark some pretty interesting thinking and creative ideas. Tool 3, creative territories. When you're thinking creatively, there can be limitless possibilities, and this can actually be quite paralysing. So it can be helpful to ring fence some general creative areas with some creative principles for those areas before you really get into the project. This will help create cohesion and focus going forward. These are called creative territories. To show an example of a creative territory, we'll start with this brand identity brief for a health and well-being resort situated on the coast. The brand essence is rejuvenation by the sea, and they want to provide a serene and luxurious escape where guests can rejuvenate their mind, body and soul with the healing power of the sea. Based on this brief, one territory I came up with was New Day, inspired by the sense of possibility, life, clarity and optimism you get at the start of the day when the sun is rising. Through this, I can start to create visual principles. Typography and logos are sophisticated yet have a sense of life. Colours are based off the warm tones provided at sunrise. Photography is natural and candid, often with drawn out shadows created by early morning sun. Materials are textured and organic. I'm a big believer in making territory boards unique, with the design layout of the board in keeping with the creative territory. So I've given every element plenty of space, providing a sense of clarity, serenity and sophistication. These always look best with high quality reference and photography, so I often dip into my mind for territory board imagery. Using same vibe is great here for discovering images that didn't show up in my original search. And we know how valuable those random encounters are to creativity. It's imperative that our territories have enough character to be used as a sort of creative springboard for the rest of the project. As well as being a fantastic creative tool for you and your creative team, territory boards are great for gauging the direction your clients want to go in before you get into the full design process. It's always worth bringing people on the creative journey with you, so when you get to the final designs, they feel like they have had some say in the end result, meaning happier clients. There are many more tools in the toolbox, but I'll save them for another day. If you'd like to see some of those tools in action, check out my brand identity process series, which is on the screen now. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.